Recording in progress.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are on page 17, chapter 7, the mind. Question. There are very interesting books written by apparently very competent people in which the illusionness of the world is denied, though not in its transitoriness. According to them, there exists a hierarchy of beings from the lowest to the highest. On each level, the complexity of the organism enables and reflects the depth, breadth, and intensity of consciousness without any visible or knowable culmination. One law supreme rules throughout: evolution of forms for the growth and enrichment of consciousness and manifestation of its infinite potentialities. Remember, the questioner is an advanced spiritual seeker, and therefore the language used or the formation of question, that itself is something that we need to understand. So what in simple word he is asking is that there are authors, apparently notable, competent authors who deny the illusionary world exists. According to them, the world is real. And these are the authors who are competent in their own field. How is that possible? That was his question. Maharaj, this may or may not be so. If it is only so from the mind's point of view. Whoever, whichever author, from his mind of view. But in fact, the entire universe, Mahadakasha, exists only in consciousness, Chidakash, while I have my stand in the absolute, Paramakash. In pure being, consciousness arises. In consciousness, the world appears and disappears. All there is me. All there is mine. Before all beginnings, after all endings, I am. All has its being in me, in the I am, that shines in every living being. Even not being is unthinkable without me. Whatever happens, I must be there to witness it. Remember, the use of I, me, mine is not for the personality. It's not for the individual. It represents the omnipresent consciousness, that energy, that awareness. Maharaj is talking about that. So let's read the answer again. This may or may not be so. What is may or may not be so? Whoever, whichever author has given the opinion that the world as we see is real and is not merely an appearance. So the answer is, it may be, it may not be, but in any case, it is from the mind's point of view. Whoever For us, when we say, this I exist, or the body exists, or my intellect, or what I see is real, it could be real as far as your mind is concerned, as far as your perception is concerned. It need not be the real as a universal. It is real for the individual, for the personality. For me, what I see is real. The reason is ignorance. Ignorance about what? Ignorance about the reality. Yeah, there are two, Parmathic truth and Vyavaharik truth. Parmathic truth or absolute truth is that what we see, what our senses can perceive is true, but it is relative truth. Its appearance, its reflection, it's limited. What is absolute reality, absolute truth, is something that arises in consciousness. In our consciousness, the world appears. In our consciousness, world disappears. Simple example is when you go to sleep, when you are in deep sleep, nothing exists for you. Not everything. However, there is a subtle difference. In a sleep, for whatever period of deep sleep, everything is non-existent. But if you are in a dream state, then you are seeing a dream. There is a dream world around you. And when you are awake, then you have this world. What is the difference in the world that we see when we are awake, the world we see or perceive during the dream, and world that we lose when you are sleeping? In all three states, there is one factor that remains: consciousness. It is that consciousness that you see the world. It is in that consciousness that you see the dream. It is in that consciousness that you take a deep sleep, because when you wake up, the world appears to you. And this is what Maharaj is trying to explain. So he says, but in fact, the entire universe exists only in consciousness. While I have my stand in the absolute, in pure being, consciousness arises. In pure consciousness, in pure being. What is pure being? Awareness. Simply awareness. When you are aware, you realize there is a consciousness. So in pure being, consciousness arises. In consciousness, the world appears and disappears. All there is me. What is me? Me stands for that awareness. All there is mine. What does it mean? It is only the awareness. Emphasizes on awareness. Only in awareness, everything exists. So he continues, before all beginnings, after all endings, I am. What is I am? Awareness exists. All has its being in me, in the I am, that shines in every living being. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, all beings are in me and I am in them. And I am in that does not mean Krishna in everyone, but that consciousness, that Krishna consciousness is in all, or that consciousness, that awareness is in all. And all does not mean just us. Every single thing that exists is in that consciousness. All has its being in me and in the I am that shines in every living being. Even not being is unthinkable without me, which means whatever is non-living, what we consider to be non-living. For instance, let's say water or a piece of stone or a rock or any articles, objects of wood or steel or metal or plastic, we think it's non-living. But even that non-living articles and objects cannot exist without being watched. Being watched in the sense consciousness. It exists because somebody is looking at it. Remember the video that we ran in our retreat about the particles, yeah, the split experiment. The particle moves in certain waveforms, a certain stream, like a stripe. But at the obstacle, it changes the formation and it goes as waves. But this happens only when there is a camera. In other words, only when somebody is watching it. Otherwise, it continues to remain as the stripes. In other words, the word appearance in consciousness, when there is a consciousness, when other good example is that what is the ocean and the waves. What is this? Apparently, the waves appear to be separate from the ocean. But is really the different? The waves is nothing but ocean. The same water take the shape and form of a wave. Ultimately, it is the same ocean or same water, but the appearance of wave. How do you deny being the world, Maharaj? I do not negate the world. I see it as appearing in consciousness, which is the totality of known in the immensity of the unknown. You see, Maharaj does not deny that world exists or does not exist. World exists only because we are looking at it, because our senses perceive it. And our senses can perceive only because of consciousness, because we are conscious, because we have awareness. And therefore it appears. But that world that we perceive is the known factor or known universe among immensity of the unknown. The science has now concluded that nearly 68% of the observable universe is that dark matter. Nearly 24% of the observable universe contains dark energy. And only about 7% is the existence of this perceivable universe, which contains galaxies and Milky Ways and stars and planets and black holes and whatever that we know, is only 7%. Remaining 68% or 24% is what they call dark energy and dark matter. What is dark energy and dark matter? Unknown. Despite all the science and technology, it still remains unknown. And this is only out of the perceivable universe. And they believe that it is far greater than what we know. And that is why the spiritual science calls it unknowable. It is beyond our limited faculty of understanding. So Maharaj continued to reply, I do not negate the world. I see it as an appearance in the consciousness, which is the totality of the known in the immensity of unknown. What begins and ends is mere appearance. The word can be said to appear, but not to be. It does not exist, not to be. It appearance merely. The appearance may last very long on some scale of time, and be very short on another scale. But ultimately, it comes to the same. Whatever is time bound is momentary and has no reality, which, in other words, is a relative truth. It is relative truth because our limited understanding of our limited faculty of understanding through our senses, we perceive them. And so it appears to be real to us. But when we recognize that our senses, our mind, our memory is all powered by the same energy, the consciousness or awareness, it is in that awareness that word exists. It is in that awareness or consciousness that we perceive everything, that sense organs perform. Question. Surely you see the actual world as it surrounds you. You seem to behave quite normally. Maharaj. That is how it appears to you. What in your case occupies the entire field of consciousness is a mere speck in mind. The world lasts, but for a moment. It is your memory that makes you think that the world continues. Myself, I don't live by memory. I see the world as it is, momentary appearance in consciousness. Remember, the answer is given by a self-realized person. And when he says I, it does not refer to the personality or Nisargata Maharaj per se. I represents that being, that awareness. And so from that point of view, he says that that is how it appears to you. What in your case occupies the entire field of consciousness is mere speck of mind. The word lasts but for a moment. It is your memory that makes you think that the word continues. Myself, I don't live by memory. I see the word as it is, a momentary appearance in consciousness. Question. In your consciousness, Maharaj, all idea of me and mine, even of I am, is in consciousness. Question. The idea of unconsciousness exists in consciousness only. So the question was, is then your absolute being, Paramakash, unconsciousness? Maharaj says the idea of unconsciousness exists in consciousness only. In other words, the mindfulness is out of mindlessness. The absence of mindlessness is mindfulness. So it is the matter of how you look at it. The Maharaj replies the same way, that what you call the question was, is then your absolute being, just being, is in unconsciousness? The Maharaj says the idea of unconsciousness exists in consciousness only. So the question arises that unconsciousness or subconsciousness, that question, who is asking? Is that consciousness that is asking, that consciousness that enables the mind to ask. Then how do you know you are in supreme state? Answer, because I am in it. It is the only natural state. Can you describe it? Only by negation, as uncaused, undependent, unrelated, undivided, uncomposed, unshakable, unquestionable, unreachable by effort. Every positive definition is from memory and therefore inapplicable. And yet my state is supremely actual and therefore possible, realizable, and attainable. Seem to be contradictory statement, but try to read a couple of times and think about it. Question was, can you describe your natural state of being? And Maharaj says, it is only possible by negation, as it is uncaused, independent, unrelated, undivided, uncomposed, uncheckable, unquestionable, unreachable by effort. If you have read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, Krishna says the same. What is Atma? It cannot get wet, you cannot dry it, you cannot burn it, you cannot break it, you cannot slide it, you cannot compose it, you cannot kill it. Krishna says concerning Atma, and Maharaj refers to the same, but as an awareness, as a consciousness, that it is unshakable, undividable, unquestionable, unreachable by effort. Every positive definition is from memory. Whenever we try to define any substance, any essence of the existence, it is only our memory, our perceptions. It need not be real. It need not be correct, because it is through the mind, through your own impression, collected and stored as memory. Question: are you not immersed tunelessly in an abstraction? Maharaj, abstraction is mental and verbal and disappears in sleep or soon. It reappears in time. I am in my own state, Swarupa, tunelessly in the now. Past and future are in the mind only. I am now. The phrase of past and future, it is only because we use our mind or memory. But when we talk about our being, our existence, our original Swarupa is in now, in present moment, here and now. There is no past, there is no future. Everything is here and now. And that is what Maharaj says, that abstraction is mental and verbal and disappears in the sleep. It reappears in time. I am in my own state, tunelessly in the now, tunelessly in now, right now. Tunelessly doesn't have any condition. There is no condition attached to it. Past and future are in the mind only. I am now. Consciousness is here and now. The word too is now. Which word? The word around us. It is your word you have in mind, not mine. What do you know of me? When even my talk with you is in your word only, you have no reason to believe that my word is identical with yours. My word is real, true, as it is perceived, while your appears and disappears according to the state of your mind. Your word is something aligned, and you are afraid of it. My word is myself. I am at home. So whenever we make a statement, whenever we make any judgment or any comment, it is always based on our individual experiences and memories. We call it our world. We call it our experience, our realization. but it is only that mind is at play. And in that mind, through our sense organs, we perceive the existence, we perceive the world that appear to be real. Maharaj says, when you transcend that ignorance by negation that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect, I am not this as people call me as I am not that, then what remains of you is only that being, only that awareness, which is present moment, which is here and now. In that present moment, the entire existence is only an appearance. I remember in this context a true story of a Chinese saint called Lao Tse. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. If you know or if you have heard of Osho's lectures, Osho refers to him very often. There is a Osho narrated how Lao Tse instantly become self-realized. So this is how it is. I'd like to read it out to you. Remember, this is all about being aware. It is said about Lao Tse that he was sitting under a tree when he became enlightened. But he was not doing anything. Buddha was meditating. Lao Tzu was not doing anything, not even meditation. He was just sitting and an old leaf fell from the tree, started falling slowly, lazily, like a feather, and he watched it falling. And it settled on the ground, and he became enlightened. He became enlightened simply by watching an old leaf falling out of the tree and settling down on the ground. He was not doing anything other than that, not even meditation. Now, there was no master, and he was not even meditating. What happened? Just watching the leaf falling, in that very moment, he must have become so tremendously aware, so absorbingly aware that the mind stopped. There was no thought. He simply watched the leaf is falling. The leaf settled on the ground. Something settled in himself too. He was no longer the same person. The old is dead. The new is born. It is rebirth. Just be quiet, silent, and more relaxing, more and more tuned with nature, and more sit with closed eyes, just doing nothing, not even meditating, just doing nothing. If nothing happens, don't be worried. If you can accept that nothing is happening, that too is okay. Then someday something is going to happen which will transform you. How beautifully described by Osho. This is why I learned that doing nothing is doing great thing. Can we just sit with eyes closed, maintain stillness and silence, and do nothing? Not even meditating. Just do nothing. Try to do one day, even for 5 minutes. And then be aware what happens after that 5 minutes. How do you feel? What exactly is your emotion? And initially, nothing may happen. You may not have any feeling. But if you continue just sitting in stillness and silence with eyes closed and do nothing, remain still and silent, that's all. and see what happens. As Lao Tzu simply watched the leaf falling, which means his eyes were open. But when his eyes were open, he did not see anything other than leaf is falling. And he watched it as if the leaf was falling in extremely slow motion. And he watched it so intensely that his mind was completely absorbed in watching the leaf falling. In other words, his mind was blank. He became mindlessness. And in that state, something settles down. What is that something? That's the grace. That's the grace. And that's why Maharaj says, it is not your effort. It is not only your effort. Your effort is to sit and do nothing. But something else will happen. What is that something else? The grace. It is the grace that enlightens you. And then you have the inner voice awakening. And that is instant. Instant. Buddha seemed to have been doing meditation for so long, but when it happened instantly. So you do need to do your sadhana for whatever time it requires, but when it happens, it just happens instantly. I will stop here probably, just in case you have anything to ask. Because these are the question answers which are not to be read as if we are reading some kind of fairy tale. Every question is so intensely, it provokes your thinking, you may feel as if it's the question that I should realize, that I should ask.
Acharya ji,
Yes.
it seems that all the questions and answers revolves around the same theme about the awareness and consciousness.
Yes. Yes. So this is why the entire spirituality is to know who am I or what am I? What is this existence? Is that real? So there are three factors, like I have mentioned before. There is a absolute reality, call it God, call it Brahman, consciousness, whatever. There is the matter, which is what we perceive as the world, matter of existence. And the third is individual, myself. So first is myself, the word that we see, and that supreme energy. Now, so apparently these are three, correct? You cannot deny that I exist. I have to accept that I exist. Second, I cannot deny that what I see, what I perceive through my senses does not exist. They do exist. And the third, that there is supreme being, whatever name you like to give, Brahman, God, consciousness, whatever, energy. So these are three. Now the question is, in reality, are these three separate? Are these three independent or interdependent? So you start with a simple way. As I exist, I touch my body. I cannot deny that I exist. The body exists. I cannot deny that I have my own emotions and my thoughts, my likes and dislikes. I cannot deny that I have my intellect, that I have my discrimination power. These are three. Yeah, we cannot deny. I cannot deny that I have subtle body, because in subtle body, I have prana, breathing, I have memory, I have my ego, I have my own samskaras. That's subtle body. I cannot deny. Then you look at the existence around you. You live in your house, you have your piece of furniture, you have all different objects around you, you have friends, you have family members, and there is a world around you. You cannot deny that they exist. They exist. Then the third matter is that there must be a power, there must be a supreme energy, a consciousness, or a God that exists, which allows everything to exist. These are the three matters. Then you start that is these three separate things. And then comes the teaching of Upanishads, different Upanishads, I'll call it Vedanta, which says creator and creation, Ishvara and Maya, young God and Shiva and Shakti, existence of the ultimate reality, which is Shiv Tattva, and the appearance, the existence, which is Prakriti, which is also known as Shakti. So that's the second level, that you come to that point that there is a creator and creation, the Shiva and Shakti, the two. Then comes that is the Shiva and Shakti separate? Then you realize that without that power of manifestation, the power of the Nirguna Swarupa or ultimate reality, the existence or the appearance of the existence cannot happen. The Prakriti is dependent, associated with that Brahman, with that ultimate reality, and therefore known as Ishvara. Then comes the matter, the appearance, which is nothing, if you remember, we spoke about it in Tattva Bodha, is the combination and mutation of 5 different elements, Panchatattva. Yeah? And that's why we have all 5 elements, gross elements. But all this cannot have existence without that supreme being, without that consciousness, without the Brahman. We may call different name, but it is that energy. That's why they call it also space or akasha. Because for us, perceivable universe consists nothing or everything in that space, in that akash tattva. And so the space is greater than everything else, because everything is in that space. Without space, nothing can exist. So without that consciousness, nothing can exist. Now come back to the individual body. What happens between life and death? What do we call a birth and death? Birth is nothing but a little body has that energy which starts breathing. Try to remember your little child when it was born. What was it? It was a body, just a body. It could be any body, human body or any body. It's a gross form. What is substance? That it start breathing. When it start breathing, there is a life. How does it breathe? What is the first breath? What enables the baby to take a first breath? Consciousness, that energy. So that energy is the bottom line. That is what we are, that who we are. And because of that energy, that consciousness, our sense organs perform. And through these sense organs, we perceive all that we appear, what we see, all objects around us. If there is no consciousness, there is no world. And this is why different questions, different philosophy, different theories, different approaches ultimately leads to the same. Talks about the awareness, present moment, consciousness, Brahman, Atma. Different people use different names.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
The purpose of reading different books or doing this satsang is to motivate you or motivate all of us to start thinking in this term, to start thinking on this direction. Simple question. Am I this body? Am I this person as I appear to be? Or there is something else? That one question. Stay with that question. When you go to your washroom and look into the mirror, what you see in the mirror, ask the question to the mirror. Is the mirror, whatever is reflecting, is that what I am? And if you get no solution on your question, or this question does not dissolve, which is also okay. Do not feel disappointed. Do not feel bad about it. Do not regret. Because everything is designed. Everything has its own time. Things do happen. You have been continuing to join every time for yoga in these classes. How does that happen? Why not other friends or other people continuing? There is always a reason for it. The reason is your own interest, your own destiny, your own karma. That's why the awareness, when we speak about by ignorance, I am something. We always say, I am so and so, I am the manager, I am the director, I am the president, or whatever levels, whatever status, whatever is position. And that statement indicates that I am ignorant. So by ignorance, I am something. But when you gain certain knowledge and you perceive certain knowledge and you pursue the knowledge, by understanding, you realize I'm nothing, I'm nobody. And when that knowledge becomes your own experience, and through wisdom, you realize I'm everything. I'm everything. So it's a journey from I am something to I am nothing, and then finally I'm everything. That's what Maharaj, Nisargata Maharaj says, I am everything. And there I am stands for that consciousness. When I say I am something, it is my ignorance or ego. And when I am nothing, it is your ignorance. And when I say I am everything, it is my awareness. So before we close today, let's ask ourselves a question. Can we find about between 5 to 10 minutes for our own self to sit with eyes closed just by yourself alone? Is it possible? Ask yourself. You don't have to answer anybody. Ask question to yourself. Can I get 5 to 10 minutes every day where I can sit alone and do nothing? Just sit wherever you are comfortable. Close your eyes. Try to remain silent and maintain stillness, which means do not shake your body, do not move any part of your body. Just remain still and silent for 5 or 10 minutes and do nothing. You don't have to do chanting, you don't have to repeat any thoughts, you just simply sit. And then after that 5 or 10 minutes while doing nothing, you realize what happened to me. Did I feel uncomfortable? Did I feel restless? Did I feel some sort of peace? Maybe some kind of joy? Or there can be a feeling of abundance, feeling of love. Different people may have different emotion after that 5 or 10 minutes. But try to do at least 5 to 10 minutes every day. Whatever time, whenever, during the day, whenever. Doesn't have to be a particular time, but do every day, same time. Try. And let me know what happens after 1 week or 10 days. And that's your sharing in the satsang.
Acharya ji, pranam. Hello, Acharya ji, pranam.
Pranam.
Acharya ji, just you have told that's nothing and something and everything. When you feel we are nothing, you say and everything and something. 3 words are there. When you feel everything, that means you are doing it awareness. I am that. So, jahan we are feeling that I am that, yeah, we are the supreme power. Feeling then we are everything. That means the awareness. Once we say something, that means it is something you can be proud of that why I'm something. I'm president of India. Yeah, something like that. And I'm nothing. That also I'm nothing. I'm so yet this confusion when the everybody was think that by I'm that. मतलब I am the supreme power. So how it is digested with us in that word? कैसे करें? How to इसको कैसे अडॉप्ट करें अपने लाइफ में? Very difficult.
Yeah, but not impossible.
For the study, it is very good, but once you implement, it is very difficult. How to do, how to live, what to do.
You can say in your profession that I am something. Yeah, in your profession, that's a vyavaharik transactional word. You can say I'm manager, I'm director, I'm president. It's okay. But that's only for your transactional word. Internally, in your mind, in your subconsciousness, you should be clear that it is only for this particular transaction that I'm saying I'm something. Reality is not that. Yeah. In reality, you realize that I am nothing. I am only a puppet. I'm just performing my role, doing whatever that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm actually nothing. That's your understanding. But when the wisdom comes, when the spiritual evolution happens, then you realize I am everything. And there, I am means that supreme consciousness, pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is everything. So 3 level of evolution, from ego to understanding, and from understanding to wisdom. So that's a journey. Right now, we can, in our transactional world, we can claim we are somebody, we are something, whatever your status, whatever your position. But that's actually only for that transaction point of view. If you are spiritual seeker, you will know that it is only for my day-to-day world that I live here. In reality, I know with my consciousness that I am nothing. I'm only performing my role as a manager, as a director, as a husband, or a brother or son or whatever. We are just performing like actor. But when you do your own sadhana and come to wisdom, your own wisdom, not anybody, your own wisdom, you then realize, I am everything. I am, which is that consciousness. It is that consciousness who you are in reality.
We can say I am everything, but that we can say I am that. I am that
Yes.
means that is the
Yes.
supreme consciousness.
Yes.
Everything what we can be that I am that. That's why
Yes.
we are reading that books. It is we are going to be understand by. We just also feel that I am that.
Yes.
We must understand it that I am that.
Yes. Yes. First is to have the understanding, and second is to have that wisdom. As I said, this is the difference between understanding. Understanding is you converting information into knowledge, and with the clarity and purity of your thoughts, it becomes your wisdom. Oh. Om. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acharya.